What up, my dudes? Happy freaking Thursday and happy just recommendation day. I'm so stoked. I'm sorry I skipped last week. Sometimes you just don't have enough time to slam a bunch of movies in to watch. And I'm all caught up with my work now, and I had so much time to watch a bunch this week. So I'm super stoked. Here comes your horror movie recommendations reviewed. So let's start off. We are on part 12, by the way. It's bananas. Thank you guys so much for even freaking being a part of this. I really appreciate it. Because I'm always discovering new awesome stuff. So we're going to start off with the first one. So let me just pull this on up. Yee! Sorry, that's my excitement. I'm full of beans right now. I blame the coffee. So we are starting with CountWackadoodle from YouTube said I should watch the movie Hobgoblins. Okay, right? Hobgoblins. Say that 10 times real fast. Hobgoblin. I can't even. Point is, ridiculous. You're completely right. So this is a really fun horror comedy movie with hobgoblins. And, like, the only way I can describe this film, it is, like, super cheese horror, but it's fantastic. You have, like, this, like, man who's all like, oh no, don't, like, open this vault because something bad's gonna happen. And, of course, these hobgoblins get released. And they kind of have, like, these weird, crazy powers where, like, they make you, like, see things, too. And, like, anyways, point is, these hobgoblins get loose, and these cool teenagers are like, oh my god, there's hobgoblins everywhere. And there's all this awesome rock music going on at the same time. And these hobgoblins is the best part to this film. They're just these, like, fuzzy puppet dudes. Like, it was so good. It was so good. Honestly, this was a fun one. I highly recommend seeing it at least once. It was just, like, it was bonkers. It's like a Gremlins, but not Gremlins. They're hobgoblins. Alright, thank you again, my dude. On to the next. Necromantic. Okay, I don't remember who told me to watch Necromantic. It was after I'd spoken about the movie Shram. So this is by that same director. Necromantic is an interesting film. So I have to say, I still like Shram more, okay? Necromantic felt like, it's just like, you know? It's one of these movies that's obviously just trying to push the limits. And you're like, what is happening? This guy brings home his girlfriend a corpse. And she's all like, yeah, I'm super horny, let's do this. And, like, it's all about, you know, like, necrophilia kind of thing. And she's just super into it. And they're, like, dressing up the corpse and, like, beautiful, like, love scenes with, like, that cha-cha-cha-cha filming. It was very interesting, okay? I don't know if I'd buy it as part of my collection, but I want to see the second one at this point. Because apparently it was made in the 90s, the following one. So I'm like, how far could they take it, you know, in the night? I'm always curious like that. You know, when you see movies come out later on, can they push the limits more or less? Like, sometimes with effects it gets better or less better. I don't know. I'm curious. So I definitely want to see Necromantic too. But Necromantic 1 was just like a trip. And that end scene. I'm obviously not going to play a clip from it. But I was just like, oh, let's just say lots of jazz. So much jazz. Everywhere. Anyways, fantastic. It was very interesting. So thank you, whoever shouted out Necromantic. My bad for not knowing your name right now, but it was definitely worth a watch. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like I took that off my list. So now I gotta find Necromantic too. It's my own recommendation to myself. If anybody's seen it, let me know. I'd like to know if the second one ups the first. You know what I mean? Alright, next. Oh, my girl Natasha. Yo. Okay, she's like, you need to watch Frankenhooker. Don't ask me why I haven't seen Frankenhooker up until yesterday. And it is so good. Like, I had so much fun during this film, and there's a huge part of me that is so happy that I watched the Reanimator first, because it has those elements to it. Anyways, the movie starts off and, like, right away, they're like, yeah, it's her birthday, like, look at this beautiful lawnmower, blah, the girl dies, okay? And the dude is like, wow, let's put her back together. The only way you can put her back together is finding a bunch of girl parts. Where do you find a bunch of girl parts? Well, duh, like in the red light district, where you can find a bunch of prostitutes. And it's, like, all played out in, like, New York. He's, like, a Jersey dude, but, like, it has that grime. It has that wicked wit. He kind of talks to himself the whole time, like, as he's reflecting, and I like that. I thought he did, like, a really good job with that. And it's silly. So he ends up... This movie's great. If anybody's seen it, I'm sorry if I'm repeating stuff, but anybody who hasn't, just if you hear this premise, he makes this wicked crack, okay? Because he's a chemist, dude. He makes this wicked crack stuff, and he's like, what are these girls gonna want? Of course, crack. Anyways, brings them all back to the room, and he's like, I need a bunch of them, because I need a bunch of parts. So he's, like, sizing them up, and they don't get it. They're just like, yeah, I'm here to party, pay me, you know? And shit goes wrong, and that crack makes their hearts explode. So, like, parts everywhere and everything, but now he has all the parts, and he can make his woman. So this is the whole movie is like, let me bring my woman back, and she's Frankenhooker. For some reason, she can't, like, rewire the brain, and it's just like, hey, you want a good time? Like, walking around downtown, like, you want to go on a date? Like, you got crack? It's so well done. Like, for me, it's hard for me to love silly horror movies, but I'm opening up myself so much more and more to them. And Frankenhooker, to me, was like a cherry on top. That was so fun. It was such a fun movie. And, like, the effects were really good, too. Like, her makeup is on point. I just love her yelling. She's just ridiculous in the streets. Like, oh, they did such a good job. So thank you so much, Natasha. Okay, next one. Ooh, Beast Mage. You gave me a couple to watch this time that I had on my list. So we're going to be covering 2 from you. Habit. Okay, I hope I watched the right Habit. Sometimes, guys, we should probably write down dates when you guys are recommending things, just so I know what I'm watching. Sometimes I get into things and I'm like, is this it? But I figured this is the one you wanted me to see, and it's called Habit, and it's from 1995. So this was a tougher one to find. What a movie, okay? It's like a vampire movie. Yeah. And it's all about this dude. It's filmed very artsy. It's about this guy who goes to a party, and this girl shows up, and he's like, does anybody know that girl? Everyone's like, no. And anyway, she's kind of mysterious and beautiful, and, like, is like, you know, like, let's go home together kind of thing. And he's just like, all right, but, like, forgets his coat. She kind of disappears. Right away, I had an inkling. I'm like, something's going on, right? I mean, the title's Habit, so I was like, I don't know what I'm getting into. I didn't read anything about it before. And there's something to be said about somebody who just appears and disappears, right? And it was always nighttime. Anyways, so you have this whole thing going, and he's like, yeah, I have this, like, cool chick, blah, blah, blah. His friend starts to get sick, who's apparently seen a cool chick too, but nobody's seen her yet. Anyways, this movie is filmed very beautifully. It's very, again, artsy. It's stylized. It almost feels like a student film, but, like, top-notch, you know? Anyways, it's all about this dude who's basically getting the freaking life sucked out of him by this girl. And it's a slow roll up to it. And everything about it, it was really good, guys. I suggest finding this one. And I hope this is the Habit that you were talking about. It might not be, but it was a great film, regardless. So, Habit, wicked vampire movie, aesthetically, like, super well done. And the story is wicked. Like, I haven't seen a vampire movie like that. And it was good. It was grimy. It was ruthless. It kind of, like, leaves you like, oh, you want to think twice when you go on random dates with people, you know? Are they vampire? I don't know. Anyways. Next. The Stylist. So, Beast Mage, you also told me to do this one, too. The Stylist is a newer one that I found on Shudder. This was interesting. Okay. Did I love it? It was okay. It was okay. Interesting for a new film. Filmed very well. Soundtrack really cool. Aesthetically, like, the ambiance and everything, the set design, the color work, really nice. The acting was good, too. But yeah, it's all about this stylist who works in a hairdresser. And, like, you can tell she's, like, lonely, you know, typical. If anybody's done, like, I've done makeup, you know, you sit there, you do people's makeup, and they tell you their whole life stories. Just like a coiffeur, just like a hairdresser. And they take that and they make this loner girl, right? And this is her life, but she lives vicariously through people who tell her stories. And she also has a basement full of scalps. What? I know, right? So this movie, I was just like, what? Yeah. So she obviously has some kind of detachment, right, to people. But the wild thing about this, I called the ending. I'm not going to spoil anything about this one, but I did call the ending. I was like, that'd be great. And it happened. I was like, yes. But it's one of these movies where, you know, she finally makes a friend. And she has this, you know, big event to help with and whatnot. Anyways, the scalping thing is totally in there. I was like, this is kind of neat. Like, I like that whole, I love Maniac. I'll always say it. And, like, a chick who scalps people, and she's, like, a hairdresser. Like, that's pretty wicked. But there was something, I don't know what was missing from this movie for me to, like, really love it. Because the concept was there. I don't know. But it was good. So go see it. You got it. And let me know what you think. Alright, next. Am I on the last one? Oh, my lord, guys. I have 2 more, technically. No, 1 more. 1 more. Guys, Barlow's Boutique from YouTube told me to watch Shockwaves. What is this movie? It's so good. It's so good. Why have I never seen this? Number 1, poster art, fantastic. Like, so good. Number 2, the concept. So it's these people that are out at sea. I think they're just taking a boat ride, and then shit goes wrong, and they end up on this island, and there's this old man who's like, hey, you shouldn't be here, there's some crazy old war stuff that used to happen here, and, like, there's ghost ships and things, and they're like, what? And of course, it's like, this is all based off of these old World War II, you know, this is a tough one, but it's all about these World War II soldiers that apparently they built to be, like, super bionic and, like, be underwater and, like, they can, like, really kill and stuff, and they've just been dormant, and now they've been awakened. I swear to God, guys, I really enjoyed this film. I really, really enjoyed it. Just this scene, you see them all kind of coming out of the water, and they're so alien, and I'm like, yes, shit's going down. Like, there isn't that much blood in it, but I think I just got so wrapped into, like, the story and the concept, and I'm like, that's really cool. I really think that whole, I don't know, it was really good. Really good. Yeah. So thank you so much for opening up my eyes to that one. I feel like I need the poster art now. Definitely need to get that movie, too. It's fantastic. All right. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of another recommendation week. I am legit getting, what do you call that? Like, pretty much down my list. So feel free to throw out new ones at me so I can add those to the watch list. I'd appreciate it. If you guys are subscribed, thank you so much as always. And if you guys aren't, you'll get on it. I like paint spooky shit. I like talk about movies, and we all hang out and have a good time. That's what it's about. Because that's what life's about. I'm sorry. Too much caffeine for me tonight, guys. Anyways. You guys have a wicked rest of your week. If you guys are following me on Instagram, check it out this weekend. I'm going to be at a festival. I'm so stoked. It's like an EDM festival. Do not judge me. I love my hair metal, but I also love dancing to, like, DJs and stuff. So I will be there. I will be posting on my stories all the shenanigans that we get into. So enjoy. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.